Hello, everybody. How are you doing? You're welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're tuning in for the first time, you're welcome. And if you're a returning listener, you're welcome once again. Alright, so today's really going to be amazing because I'm going to be doing a story time. And alongside that, I'm going to introduce myself properly because I actually realized that all the videos I've been dropping here on YouTube, I've not properly introduced myself to you guys. So I felt like, oh no, I think that should have even come first. So this is more or less like my first proper video because I'm really going to be introducing myself to you, so you're going to know me, so that when you see my videos, you really know where it's coming from, so you know who exactly it is that I am. Okay, so my name is Mary Makinde. I'm a personal development coach. I reside in Lagos, Nigeria. So what else do you want to know? Drop in the comment section about whatever thing you want to know again about me. Just let me know. Okay, so that's that. Basically, I'm a content creator. I'm a podcaster. I'm an author of 3 books. Okay, it's the glory of God. I'm the pioneer of Mary Company. Okay, and we are a group of people, who help individuals build heritage, discover their potentials, and we define future to be the change the world needs. Okay, I'm also the host of the Stability podcast. Hey, so if you've not listened to any of my podcasts, please you need to do that. Yes, I used to release very different episodes where I talk on personal development. Yes, I'm the voice behind the Stability podcast. Okay, and I'm the host of the Stability Tribe on Facebook. So you can follow me on all my social media platforms as Mary Makinde, Makinde. Okay, so and on Instagram you can follow me at I am Mary Makinde together, no underscore, just type it like that. Okay, so before I proceed to the story, the gist of today, so before I go into that, I'd like to let you know that you have to subscribe. Click on the subscription button now to subscribe, and also click on the notification button. Have you done that? Do that now, okay, so that you get notified as soon as I drop the latest videos. So today is story time. I'm going to be doing this often, on YouTube, God helping me, where I'm going to be sharing life experiences. Okay, how did I become a personal development coach? So what do I even do as a personal development coach? I help young minds to achieve purpose, to discover purpose, to be self-aware, and to live the life that God wants you to live in a bit to foster influence, impact, and income. So this is what I do. I've been doing this for years and I have numerous results. So in case you're confused about life, you don't really know how to go about things, you just know that something is not right, something is not just adding up, you were in a confused state, or you are in a confused state rather, and you don't know what next to do in life, you're confused, you don't know how to go about certain things, it could just mean that you need clarity of purpose, you need to be really sure what kind of business can you venture into, what kind of course should you study, what kind of various questions about life. When you are confused, when there's no clarity, it means that something is wrong. So I will take you through the process of self-awareness. I'll take you through the process of self-discovery. I will take you through the process of realizing your innate potentials, your strengths, your weaknesses, a lot of things about yourself. And I'm assuring you that when I walk on this journey with you, you will not just discover purpose, but you will also live in it, and I can also help you live a life of influence, a life of impact, and also still make money, income. Okay, so now to the story, the gist of today. If you're not subscribed, click on the subscription button now. Okay, so I'm actually going to talk about my journey to personal development. How did I even start? At least I've coached over 50%, on personal development. I've been doing this for years now, and I became a personal development coach in the year 2020. So this year is going to make it 2 years officially. But I've been doing a lot of things. I've been impacting life as an educational consultant for 10 years now. This is what I've been doing. I'm really passionate about seeing people grow. That's what I'm very, very passionate about. I became a professional personal development coach in the year 2020. But before then, I had been impacting life, but so that I was not yet a brand, and I was not yet this visible. So how did I even get there? That's what I want to let you know. How did I get there? Did I just wake up one day and say, personal development? How did I cross the lane to personal development? So this is it. I'm actually an introvert. So for those of you who don't know who an introvert is a very, very quiet person, very reserved person. Somebody who think and act more in their mind. So that person that find it very, very difficult to interact. So I'm so contented with my quiet zone. I like to be alone. I like a lot of things like that. So I think and act in my head. So as an introvert, I used to be somebody who, of course, I really interacted with people. I was really seeing how to, let me even share a little about that. While growing as a child, in my family, my neighborhood, people hardly know that I exist in that house. Like, I live in my family. People hardly knew me. So most persons, maybe they actually think maybe I'm in a boarding school, but I never went to boarding school. I've always been a day student. So because I don't really want to see people, I don't like going on errands, so I just face the chores in the house, and then my other siblings run errands. So I hardly go out. Only when I'm going to school, and of course when you're going to school, you leave in the morning. I leave in the morning, and I used to come back late in the night. Why do I come back late in the night? Especially when I was in my senior secondary school, I was doing 2 different lessons. So I had a WAEC class. I was, attending WAEC tutorial. After that, I will now go for JAM tutorial. So I was doing that back to back. So from school to WAEC tutorial, then from WAEC tutorial to JAM tutorial. So it was like that. So most times I come back very late at night. People hadn't know that I live in my family. People hadn't know. Some persons even don't really know the connection I had in my family. Except maybe I look someone like my mom, as they used to say, and also my dad to some extent. And moreover, okay, so I am that kind of person. I remember when visitors come to our house. Even though I was in the parlor initially, even though I am in the parlor as at the time, the moment I hear a knock on the door, oh God, I used to run as if the dog is chasing me. Okay, so I'm that kind of person that I don't really like seeing faces. I don't really like, people like interacting with people. Okay, so I was like that, and it really affected a lot of things about me because I didn't really know how to mingle with people. Even when you have to force me, I don't know what to say. Before I say anything, I have to think of how to say it, how to put it in structure, For those of you that can relate, introverts, and if you can relate it to my story. So it continued like that, and the beautiful thing about it is I was able to develop my mind. Okay, I was able to have enough time with myself. I was able to know certain things about myself. But then the ugly thing about that situation was that I was not able to strike a balance. So I didn't know how to interact with people. I never had any friend as a child. I never had any friend as a teenager. I never had any friend in school. I never had any friend in church. I never had any friend in the neighborhood. You're surprised, right? Okay, so I was like that. I like avoiding people. Even my white classes, when I go, I don't talk to anybody. I hardly talk to anybody. And even for my jam classes too, I hardly talk to anybody. And even in my school, then I hardly talk to anybody. So how did somebody like me now become a personal development coach? That's what I wanted to do. So it continued that way, and finally, what happened? I started liking certain persons. I started liking certain personalities. I started, when I see those that speak, like, oh, this person speaks well. Okay, I started liking and admiring others. Okay, and before you know what happened, I began to feel like my nature was a sickness. I began to feel like, and yes, another thing again is this. It happened that as I was growing, I was exposed to bullies. Bullies left, right, front, back. So, growing in the Nigerian school or in the Nigerian society, I was not just bullied in the school, so I was bullied in different places. That'll be story for another day. So don't worry, you're gonna get raw gist from me. So that's why I said you should subscribe so that when I drop those videos, you're going to be one of the first persons to see them. So as I was saying, I was bullied. Okay, I began to feel like something is really wrong. Like, why is everybody bullying me? Why is everybody trying to take advantage of me? Why is everybody trying to? I think maybe because people studied that I hardly talk. Okay, so maybe they felt that they can just trample on me anyhow. They can just they can just tell lies against you. I'm that kind of person that when they tell lies against me, I will not tell me. Imagine someone that hardly talks. That's okay. People to come and say what happened, and I'll just whenever I look at the faces of everybody and see the way they are all centered on me, the next thing I will just burst into tears. So that actually gave room to many persons to actually to ride on me. Okay, in school then I would never be flogged for making noise. I was not that child. So I was that child. So anything that makes me get flogged, it's 2 things. It's either the whole class was punished. You just hear when they will get principal or one of the teachers will say SS3A, all of you come downstairs. So those are the only things when the whole class is noisy, and of course there are some sheep amongst the wolves. Okay, so I was amongst the sheep, those that actually make noise. Okay, I really wasn't that. I was never that lousy person. While growing up. So it's only when there's a general reason to flog the whole class that's when I face such punishment. The second thing used to be my nose, because I had issues with my sight while growing, so I wasn't able to sleep. So most times I'd start borrowing notes to copy up. So sometimes some teachers can be so strict and inconsiderate. Okay, so I remember one man said Ikushika. Hey, my biology teacher back then he would give you notes, like notes or biology notes can be like 4 pages, 4-5 pages, even more than that sometimes, including drawing. and they will tell you must submit your note that day before you go home. So sometimes everybody's in a hurry to submit because that man, when it's fancy, it can be really painful. So sometimes I don't even used to say notes to copy, and those are the things that makes me, get flogged. Aside from those two things, I had the like one-on-one, like I don't snap at teachers, I don't, you not see me abusing my friends. I was always on my own. So back to why I became a personal development coach. I was able to tell myself. So I was, with time, as I was growing, I was going to the teenage stage. I started wallowing in low self-esteem. Okay, so my low self-esteem was so much that when people abuse me, it's so common among teenagers. Okay, so back then when I was a teenager, it's so common that your friends also abuse you. They want to, they're actually playing with you, like they call it yabbing. Okay, so they're playing with you. They tell you, why you so in an hour. I'm not a fat person. Okay, so they'll tell you, why you like this? You're not even fat, no flesh, nothing else. Like they will yab you, and when they say certain things, I just start crying. I cannot fight back. I would not even say anything, but I just start crying or just sit down, start thinking. So it was beginning to affect me, and I was I was going deeper into low self-esteem, and it really affected me. Affected me academically, affected me emotionally in so many ways. So I always think that the extroverts were better than I am. Okay, so because they talk, I see the way they talk, I admire the way they talk, I admire all of those things, but talking was never my thing. It was one of my weaknesses. Okay, back then. Okay, I've been able to work on this now. So, and I didn't have confidence, a lot of things like that. It affected me academically as well, and it continued like that till I got to the institution. I just knew that something was wrong. I knew that there was I didn't, I used to wake up with this question of why exactly am I created? Like, why did I even wake up today? Such questions. Like, there are many times that I just wish I was never born. I used to say all things to myself. When I look at myself in the mirror, I hated myself so much. Some words of people get to me. What gets me? I used to say something that I used to prefer. Okay, back then, that you rather spank me than say true words at me. Okay, because words hold a very strong effect in my life. I used to feel it so much. So all of these things made me really shadow myself, and I knew that I was going to lose it, okay, if I don't find help. So I became intentional. I didn't know how to make friends. Not really necessarily because I didn't want to make friends. Now I want to clarify that part. It was not as if it was not as if I had a bad character or that people were not trying to communicate with me. But then the problem was I didn't know how to continue relationship. I didn't know how to continue communication. So the highest I could do is good morning, good afternoon. And then I was so self-principled. I was so principled as a child. I had all these boundaries. I'm that child that people tell, don't do this. I will definitely not do it. Not because I don't want to do it, but because I want to do it. So I'm that child that wants to put water in their mouth. Like you go to the market and come back, you still need that water in their mouth. Okay, it's just an illustration. But I was that child. Okay, I was always where you put me. I'm like that. I can be so loyal to a fault. So I knew that. It was good, but then it was just too extreme, and it affected me low self-esteem. I couldn't express myself. I couldn't talk. Even my family members were so happy because they didn't really like how And it happened that I really was an extrovert. So it was like I was just bored. If you know what that means, okay? So I knew I needed help. So when I got to school, to the institution, it happened that I attended a year's program. Okay, so this year's meeting was in my earlier level. They came to, it's an empowerment program, so like all this self-discovery thing. Okay, so they came to my school, and it was announced. Just on the flyer somewhere. I said, oh, okay, let me go. So that was when I went there to talk about self-awareness, talk about, I cannot completely picture things they talked about, but I knew that at that point, that was when I discovered myself. That was, no, sorry, not discovered myself. That was when, for the first time, I valued myself. For the first time, I was so excited that I was created. That was the very first time. So I went back to my house and I started the journey. Thank God for the Holy Spirit. Okay, so I'm a Christian, and I think that day I had to recommit to the Holy Spirit. I'd given my life to Christ Jesus way before then. Okay, so I knew that I used to communicate with the Holy Spirit even before then. Yes. So because like I used to live in my head. I remember that when I was in school, I don't want this to be so long, so I'm going to share that in another video. So, but I used to communicate with the Holy Spirit before then, but I didn't know how to. Like, it was not a regular thing. Like, the connection was there, but I didn't know how to develop it. Okay, so after that year's program, I now when they're going to tell you that who are you, making me, they actually made me realize that I was in the midst of a crowd, a lot of crowd, students environment now, so it was a lot of crowd. It was not as if I had any one-on-one session with anybody, but then I was so focused in that thing, and it was really amazing for me. So when I went back home, I became so hungry, and I started studying. I went online. I started researching about myself. Before then, if you ask me what's your best color, I don't know. What's your best color? I didn't really know so many things about myself because I hated myself so much. I hated myself so much. I felt like I was hurt because I was an introvert. I felt like God hated me for making me not know how to make friends. I see the way my friends, I see the way people used to make friends. I see the way people used to talk publicly. Even when I have platform, when I have an opportunity to talk, the moment everybody, maybe I'm in a group now, I'm even trying to compose, like I'm in a group and everybody start talking, and probably something was to come out of my mind, like I have an idea to share, and I say yes, actually. The moment I say yes, actually, or anything that comes out of my mouth first, and everybody focus their eyes on me. I was going to melt, like it's going to be as if I will melt and I will just forget everything I said. So it was like that for me. So, but after that yes program, I now began to make research. I started reading books. Okay, I used to read. Reading used to be one of my strongest habits before then. But I didn't know how the right books to read, how to read. Like I didn't have direction. I didn't have direction at all. So I was doing certain things that were related to my personality, but I was not doing. They can be doing the right thing in the wrong way. So that was how it was. So and I started reading books. I started going for seminars, going for programs. Once a year, there's one webinar somewhere, there's one seminar somewhere, I would definitely go. So that was how I started developing myself, and to the point where I could say, God, I remember the day that somebody told me that, said, you're so skinny, do you think you're going to see any guy that likes you? Like, I don't know why she just looked at me, and then she's like, do you think that any guy can really like you? Like, I said, oh, yeah. Because at that time, okay, I was already set up. Yeah, I don't like sexy. Okay, any guy that does not like me is because it's not my type. Do you understand? Like, that I am actually a very special person. I am uniquely made. I'm uniquely crafted for God's purpose. And one of the things that also helped me was the Word of God. Okay, so I became so acquainted with the Word of God. I started having a personal fellowship with God through the Word of God, through conversations with Him, and also through prayer. So, and I started hearing God from myself at that time. So that was how everything changed for me. And I told the lady that thing. She was surprised the way. In fact, I don't know if the way I said it was kind of rude. I don't know if the way I said it was kind of, or maybe because she has not seen me like that before. I just told her that. And then when I went to my hostel, I looked at the mirror, and for the first time, like I cannot quantify the level of joy I had that God created me. I looked at my very small statue because I looked at my very small statue and I admired it, and I saw the beauty in it. Oh God, hey! It was so sweet. Like it was a very sweet experience for me, because for the very first time I appreciated how God created me. I appreciated everything about myself. I did not look down, because before I would have just gone to my, for like 3 days I'll not talk to anybody. I'll just be crying. I'm like, yes, I know. Yes, you don't have to tell me. I know. So she did still like that. It did help. Okay, so I was able to get help, and that was how I came out of that low self-esteem. It was a gradual thing. It was not a get thing. Okay, not at once. Okay, and I'm also still, life is a journey. So the more I go, the more I break certain things and needs to be broken. Okay, so but that was how the transformation started for me. So it was when I was in school. And guess what happened? Hey, you know that being self-aware affected my results. Story for another day. Okay, so I had a very I was an average student. Okay, during the process of that, low self-esteem stage, that that phase that I was in, that dark phase I was in. And guess what happened? The moment I became intentional about myself, I started loving myself. I started appreciating what God had created. I said, it was like the transformation was so fast. The moment I started out being very intentional, I became also intentional about my studies. And hey, what God cannot do does not exist. Tell your neighbor. Tell your neighbor, what God cannot do does not exist. Like it was like the way my results flew. The transition. God, it was just so massive. It was so massive. So why am I telling you this? I know you might be in a dark state. I know you might have talked down the hill. I know it's possible that you've heard something about yourself. See, what God says about you is what you are. You are not what any man says you are, any boy, any girl, anybody says you are. You're actually what God says you are. Now see me, I am doing amazingly well according to the way God wants it. And you see me, you say you don't suspect, like looking at me, you can actually see the radiation of God's glory in my life. And then thus far, God has really helped me. I've never regretted for a second the pathway I am on now. Okay, so all this happened because I decided to be very intentional about myself. So I transitioned from the level of being dark into that manifestation of light that I have. Remember that one of the reasons why you need to be very much intentional about yourself. If you refuse to be the light, because Scripture told us that we are the light of the world. It says that there is city set upon a hill that cannot be hidden. So, and if you even refuse to actually, live as the light, remember that Scripture also said in Romans chapter 8 that the endless expectation of the creature awaited the manifestations of the sons of God. So, it means that If you refuse to manifest, you're doing the wrong thing, okay? Because the world is waiting for you and I to manifest. The world is waiting for you to manifest. The earnest expectation of the creature awaited the manifestation. So the creature is awaiting your manifestation. The creature is waiting for, like, many things are attached to you, many souls are attached to you, many persons. You need to be a liberation to many persons, and that is why I want you to arise to your potentials. I hope this blessed you. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed, and don't forget to share and also drop your comment in the comment section below. Thank you. Bye for now.